Hi, I can do this. I can talk. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Um, oh my gosh, Beth, how are you doing? I couldn't be worse. I haven't been worse. Well, I have been worse. I've been burned up and blown up and plugged into and strapped on, and oh my goodness. But outside of the hospital, I probably haven't been much worse than I am right now. But that's on a physical level. That's on an outer level. There's a whole bunch of consciousness shifting going on for me right now where there are huge levels of, usually you don't detect it. Your inner world as opposed to the outer world and where your consciousness is at. And amongst it all, you're just kind of receiving and doing and being, and you don't really sit down and just map out where you are consciously. And in a lot of ways, the way I use consciously, it means spiritually. What we consider spirit is just energy that's conscious. And there's all different levels of it. There's all different types of it. And there's huge collectives of it. And this is an immensity that just is immeasurable. Not only in size, but in intensity, in every aspect. It's just immeasurable. You can get into these ideas of love and unconditionality. It's just a state of consciousness where everything is unconditional. Love on down. Everything. And I can sit here and look at it and see where my soul is at. See this processing it all into a self-realization, creating not only a sense of self, but an actual being of self, an actual conscious existence that never existed before, which is really strange for us because we are eternal, without beginning and without end, and it's always existed. Everything we are, everything we've known, it's always existed. There's nothing new popping up into existence other than what we create as in this realities like this. We've got these dimensional ways to pop in and out of existence that actually are functioning, has a side effect of eternity, has something that we produced in response to being eternal and not having no escape from it, but also a growth process. Eternity is never ending, but it's also continually getting more and more of what it is. It's a growth process. And it intensifies. You want to talk about things that get more intense. Holy God, you hit eternity level. The farthest Godhead experience I've ever had was so intense, my God mind was just dumbfounded. It was just, I was slack-jawed. I was about to die of awe. And it's just so intense. This is not going on and on in time and space. It's going on and on in itself. More and more and more of it. And it's just the hugest collective of all. Every nanosecond is just like 10 billion times more of what it was the nanosecond before. It's that it is. It's just bam, 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 bam. It's like a kaleidoscope. Blows my mind every time I try to not go there. Because you can't do that and be here. There's no way. And that's me. I'm being here. And and I keep seeing things like everything I go through. always leads to the same question. Why is there so much misery, amongst all the good that there is in life? Why is there so much misery going on? And of course, I understand purpose and procedure and where it leads you and how without it we wouldn't have that. It's kind of like being guided with a prod, It's like, oh, that fucking hurts, I'll go this way, which usually means within. I'll go within because right now outside hurts. And that's where we discover more about who we are as a conscious energy, as a spiritual being, in God, and the more we go within. Now, there are outer resources where people have shared their inner experiences over tradition and religion and time and generations, from one generation to the next, family traditions. But there's a lot that we encounter in our own lives, on our own, where we're just kind of out there in it. And sure, everybody goes through that, but when you go through it, you're out there alone in it. And you've got to make your own ideas about what things are. And they can be based on what you've been given and taught, or they can be based on what you see completely separate from all that. And that's where I'm at. I've never been able to go along with everything or anyone. No ideology, no religion, no fuck all that shit. No, I got my own idea about what everything is, and that's the best one. I don't care what anybody says. I know what's best for me and the way I see it. And I've had my own experiences enough to fill in enough gaps where I don't mind relying on myself, even when it doesn't fill in all the gaps. But I can see where my soul is at in this self-realization. But I'm like that because I'm kind of out in front. I'm older than anything. I'm just like, I'm one of the oldest things. Oh my God, I don't even want to call it a soul. It's just a thing. And it's been going on for billions and billions of lifetimes over different planets, over different eras of the universe. And it's coming to a completion. It's coming to a fulfillment. And it's not a fulfillment in how many lives you've led. It's not a fulfillment in time. It's just a fulfillment in itself. And that's where it's at. That's where I'm at. Oh. Anyway, so that's the question. I'm at that question about the joy and the happiness of life versus the misery and the pain. What's up with that shit? I get the purpose. I get all the after effect. But why is it there in the first place for real? Where is it coming from? What is it in itself? Forget about its effects. What is it? Anyway, that's what I'm doing. My fingertips are all in. Oh man, I've been trying to fight that blood poisoning with those mushrooms, and I pretty much got it all down except to one little gland above my elbow on the inside of my arm is swollen, just about the size of a pea, and it shouldn't be anything. It's maybe smaller than a pea. I can feel it right now. It's half a pea, 3/4. It's a small pea. And the side effects of the mushrooms, I've been taking them for like 2 months, is they dry your system out. And I try to drink water to stay hydrated, but it's not like that. And you try to use moisturizer on the skin because it dries up the skin and splits it, and chunks fall off, and all over my skin's just coming off on the end of my fingers and my hands. Anyway, I had to quit taking the mushrooms a couple days ago. It was just getting too bad. And they're still kind of bad, my fingers, the skin. It's like, by the time it splits, it's coming from within my fingers. The system inside is supposed to dry it out. This mushroom just sucks the moisture out of the tiniest capillaries or what. But anyway, right around my fingertips is where it seems to get the worst of it. And you can feel it. It gets sore underneath the skin before it splits. It's just going on underneath. And then by the time it splits, you've got to, that's way past bad time. It's already, should have been doing something before it split. That's what I'm trying to say, but I'm way past that. So I got bandages, and I'm talking, and I'm rambling. I ate a gummy. No, I made them. It's not even a gummy. It's like can of butter. I got this stuff from my store next door. I got a little store right next door I can go get pot stuff from. It's just a trip. This place is a trip. I mean, when I took off on my peace pilgrimage 2-3 years ago, whatever it is now, time. What is time? Oh my God, there's daylight and there's dark. That's what I know. It's dark time or it's daytime. That's one of the... Anyway. I needed to do this inner work more than I realized. I had no clue, actually, when I took off on a peace pilgrimage, where I was going and within myself, what it symbolized of the journey that I was really taking, into myself, into a whole nother reality, my inner reality, of like deeper, darker self-discovery that I'd never been aware of and knew about how to process or do anything with. And I've been doing that. I've been learning it. And it comes in these kind of it's like one step of the procedure will lead you to the next. You just keep going through, and it comes in these like chunks of information. It just, boom. Oh, suddenly the thing is self-explanatory just by looking at it. And you go quantum, and everything means more than really what it was, because you're in this more profound state of consciousness where it sees the more profound natures of everything instead of the mundane. And now things are operating on a whole other more profound level that way. And whoa, away you go. And that's what I can't function like a regular human being like this. I'm not even here no more half the time. I'm just in the body counting seconds, I guess. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick, for a whole fucking lifetime. Oh my Lord, what? And every little tick tock is another essence of self coming into place. There is a process going on. It is a gradual process. It has taken billions of lifetimes. That's how gradual. There's very little change. I mean, on the outer, you might be born in a totally different time and place and live like a totally different person, but that lifetime and the lifetime before are very similar. There's very little change inside that person, even though they're born at different times and different places, might be totally different like people on the outside. On the inside, there's very little change. And that's the gradual part of it. That's the only part that sticks. These others are just... They're just kind of these mechanisms of identity that we use to establish an idea of self outside of a collective, which is the only way we know how to exist. In our conscious energy, everybody's there. There's no boundaries. And you can't even describe it as everybody being there, because you quit being separate. You become like a hive mind, become like a collective. You identify as the collective, but there's no separation in its parts. It's just this multi-faceted way of being. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I've been talking forever. I have nobody to talk to about this stuff. Who you gonna tell? Ghostbusters. So I ain't got no Ghostbusters in my town to talk to. And I'm done on Facebook. Facebook's driving me nuts. Oh my God, since this consciousness shift, Beth, when I get on Facebook now, it's like 18 billion people talking to themselves. Talking to themselves all at once. Everybody's just talking. And most of them are talking to themselves. Actually, I just realized that accidentally. That's really what's going on there. There's 8 billion people on that thing talking to themselves. Because nobody's really listening. It's just an illusion of interaction. This is way more interaction than Facebook right here. All right, I gotta go. This has gotten long. I've been rambling. Love you. Bye. God, I just love you. Bye.